YouTube. This is probably the most anticipated video yet, aside from maybe the abs video. And that is because it is the counting macros video. Everyone wants to know what are macros, how do you count them, how do you get them, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. And I'm going to give you the very basics in the video because I'm going to do a whole slew and a whole series on all of this stuff, going into if it fits your macros, you know, the goods and bads, the ins and outs, the tips and tricks, everything to just make you an all-star at doing it. And so we'll jump right into it. What are macros? Macros are your protein, carbs, and fats, and on top of that, there's also your fiber and water. We're not going to focus on those too much, but just know that those are also macros. And actually, real quick, macros are your macronutrients. So macros are short for macronutrients. And so let's see, protein. Protein has 4 calories for every gram. Carbs has 4 calories for every gram. Fats have 9 calories for every gram, and then alcohol has 7 calories for every gram, but I'm going to do a whole video on alcohol here coming up right after this one, and it's actually going to be titled, Should I Drink Beer or Liquor When I Go Out? Where do you get each macro from? Just, you know, real basic. Protein, obviously, is going to come from your meats, you know, chicken, eggs, steak, beef, all of that good stuff. Carbs can come from anything like fruits, pancakes, oatmeal, sweet potatoes, vegetables, juices, Pop-Tarts, everything. Those are all high carb foods. And then lastly, you have your fats. And you can get fats from a number of things, but more concentrated and higher fat foods would be, you know, peanut butter, obviously butter by itself, peanuts. Another one is olive oil if you use that in your cooking and things like that. That's another good high fat food that you could get it from, or I guess that's not really food, but y'all know what I'm saying. So that's where you can get each one from. Obviously, a lot of foods will have all 3 macros or just 2 of them. So for example, you can find fruit that has a little bit of very small trace amount of protein, but a high amount of carbs and no fat whatsoever, and vice versa among all 3 of those different little macros and situations. And camera's about to die, so if this cuts off here in a second, why would you want to count your macros? Macros is pretty much just, it's not a diet. It's a tracking system. You're tracking how many calories go into your body, and then ideally you'd hopefully be tracking how many calories you're expending through energy or just your basal metabolic rate, you know, just how much you naturally would burn just sitting on the couch all day and not moving a single muscle is your BMR. But I'll go into that more in a video. But the whole idea of tracking macros is that you're tracking the energy balance of how many calories come in and how many calories go out. And so obviously then you can manipulate it to either maintain your weight, gain weight, or lose weight. And each macro plays a different role, but again, that'll be another video as well. And so how do you track macros? MyFitnessPal is an awesome, super free app, and fantastic, super simple and easy to use. I highly recommend it. So if you have questions about it, you're more than welcome to just message me, DM me, text me, email me, all that good stuff, and I'll help you figure it out if you need that. But I'll probably end up doing a video on that here pretty soon as well, and how to use it. Another thing that you'll want is also a scale. You can get one for $10 at Walmart, and you'll want a scale for certain things, but not everything. So for example, vegetables. When you're measuring out, you typically don't just measure out a cup because the cup doesn't get filled up. So what you may do is measure out 150 grams of broccoli or something like that. Or when you're measuring out chicken, each chicken breast is not 6 ounces and it's not 8 ounces. It could honestly be 12 or 13, in which case you're getting way too much protein in a sitting. And so ideally what I'm saying is you would use the scale to measure out the amount of chicken that you're having, because you can't just, not every chicken breast is created equal. So hopefully that makes sense. And then so the last thing is pretty much just an example of like how they all fit into your overall calorie amount. So for example, my macros right now are 3,500 calories, 230 grams of protein, 475 carbs, and 75 fats. I'm almost certain those all add up to the right number, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. Could be off by 1 or 2 numbers, but I'll put it on the screen, make it all make sense and all that good stuff. But pretty much, so for example, if I took something like this here Tang, which has 0 fats, 0 protein, but 22 carbs, it also has 90 calories, but like we discussed before, there's 4 calories per gram of carbs. So there's 22 carbs in here, times 4 should equal 88, but it says per serving it's 90 calories. That must mean that there's empty calories or blah, 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 all that good stuff. But pretty much what I'm telling you is that almost all labels out there are off by plus or minus 10% and things like that. So just be aware for that you don't have to be dead on by numbers and stuff like that. And also have a video on how close should you be to your macros and things like that as well. But pretty much I'll take my macros, 3,500, calories, 75 fats, 230 protein, and then 475 carbs. And then I will take my 22 grams of carbs and no fats or no protein, and then my 90 calories, and subtract that from my macros. And eventually, if I can add enough foods up, such as this, and then good protein sources and fat sources, I can create a food list that would equal my amount of calories and macros for the whole day. And so that's pretty much very basically how you would meet your goals. I'll also do a video on how to find your goals, how do you find your calorie amount, how do you find your maintenance level, which is the amount of calories that you can maintain your body weight at, gain weight, lose weight, all those different numbers. I'll be doing videos on that coming up soon. Share this, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. It seriously helps me out so much, and it shows me what you guys really want to see. So if you do like this video, then just give it a thumbs up or something like that, so I really know that you guys really do enjoy this, and that I'm not just putting out content that's like pointless. I want to put out stuff, guys, that will help you and that you enjoy and that you want to see and all that good stuff. So until next time, probably a couple days or a week or so, I'll have the next video out on should you drink beer or should you drink liquor. Here we go.